Okay, how many times have you gone to the grocery store shopping for your produce and you see this scene? One apple and another apple. One's 50 cents. Seems like the right choice. What's different about this one? Organic. So this raises the question, why does organic cost so much more? Well, that made me have a question. Does eating organic food have more health benefits as opposed to eating non-organic foods? Let's see. Well, here's what I think. I hypothesize, no, that eating organic foods results in no more significant health benefits than eating conventional food. But before you trust me, let's see what the experts think.
It's not even organic and it's so tasty. So, if we have inorganic foods, we have non-organic foods. Why are we paying so much more for those organic foods? What's the difference? Well, one difference people point out is that organic foods have to be grown without the use of pesticides. Now, this is very clean. Is there pesticides really getting inside me? I don't know about it. So I looked it up. And a study was done by C.L. Curl, S.A. Beresford, R.A. Fensk, A.L. Fitzpatrick, C. Liu, J.A. Nettleton, and J.D. Kaufman. And they had a sample size of people of 4,500. And they had these people self-report their diet whether they were eating organic or not organic foods. And then they measured a compound known as diacylphosphate inside of their urine. That compound is commonly known to be in most pesticides. And they found that those who ate inorganic foods had a significantly higher amount of diacylphosphate in their urine as compared to those who ate organic. So maybe more pesticides are getting inside of me from this inorganic apple. But I don't know. One limit of this study is that they had people self-report their diet, and it's very hard. I have no control over my diet, and I don't trust these people in the study that they had control over their diet either. So, what about chemically? Are they the same? In another study done by J.P. Van Dyke, K. Kankar, P.J. Hendrickson, H.G. Benin, M. Zhu, S. Sheffer, L.V.T. Shepard, D. Stewart, H.V. Davies, C. Leifert, S.J. Wilcoxon, K. Gruden, and E.J. Koch, they studied the RNA of organic potatoes and not organic potatoes. They grew these potatoes in the same field in similar plots, and they had different combinations of fertilizer, some organic and some not organic. They let the potatoes grow for 3 weeks and then harvested the RNA and studied it. And they found only minor differences between the organic potatoes and not organic potatoes. And it was claimed that there were no significant difference between them. Well, before I throw away my apple, I can have some peace knowing that it is just as good as an organic apple. But the question still remains, what other things could be wrong with this inorganic apple? One limit to this study is that RNA sequencing is still experimental, and maybe it doesn't matter what the chemical composition of it is, but more of the pesticides that are on the outside of it. So what's really the worst thing this apple could do to me? Is it gonna give me cancer? Well, actually, in a study done by K. Bradbury, A. Balkwell, E. Spencer, they studied the effect of inorganic foods on cancer in women. They had a large study group in the UK of 623,080 middle-aged UK women, and they studied the likelihood of them getting cancer whether they ate organic or not organic foods. They had them self-report whether they never, sometimes, or always eat organic foods. And they found that there was almost no difference between those who ate organic foods or inorganic foods. However, there was one type of cancer known as non-Hodgkin lymphoma, which was the only one found to have a possible increase of likelihood of having it by eating inorganic foods as opposed to organic foods. So maybe there is a small chance that this could give me something really bad. One limit to this study, however, was that participants had to self-report on a very generic scale of never, sometimes, or always eating organic foods, and it wasn't as specific as it could have been.
Gosh, Well, I'm almost done with my inorganic apple, so I figured I better figure this problem out before it kills me. So what about the nutrients inside the apple? Is there a difference? Well, I looked at one known as flavonoids. Flavonoids are a very healthy nutrient for you that are found in fruits and vegetables. And a study done by L. Grinder Peterson, Eski Rasmussen, S. Bugle, L. V. Jorgensen, L. O. Dragstead, V. Gunderson, and B. Sandstrom studied the amount of flavonoids inside organic foods as opposed to inorganic foods. And they had a group of 16 people. These people were fed a strict diet for 2 periods of 22 days. And one of the diets consisted of organic foods and the other consisted of inorganic foods. And they studied the amount of flavonoids within those patients after these diet periods. And the results came back that most flavonoids were unaffected. There were 2 flavonoids, quercetin and kaempferol, that were generally higher within the patients of those who ate organic foods. But there was also one flavonoid known as ishormonitin, which was lower in those who ate organic foods as opposed to inorganic. And one limit to this study is that they only used 16 people to perform it. It left some room up for experimental error. Well, shoot dang, I've learned quite a bit. And I guess it's time we come back to my hypothesis. Do you remember this guy? Noel. Well, I don't agree with it anymore. I admit it. I was wrong. I said there were no additional health benefits from eating organic foods, and it seems that there are. Organic foods offer some health benefits such as less pesticide residues, more of some antioxidants and flavonoids, and slightly less risk of some cancers. And I said that there would be none. But it's still worth to be said that these differences are relatively small and on a very small scale. And many studies come back as inconclusive whether organic or inorganic foods are better for you. And so, while there may be slight benefits to eating organic versus not organic, I think if we're trying to be healthy, maybe we should look at what we're eating rather than how our fruits were grown. And I think that might have a better decision on what we become. So for me personally, I think it's worth the 50 cents to stick with inorganic, but that's my personal decision. Now I'm gonna go finish this apple. So yeah.